Welcome in here to another of my Pioneers live stream. The Pioneers, after having a tie for the first time this season against the Niagara Power last night in Niagara, have now come back home to Dunfield in order to play a doubleheader today against the Jamestown Tarpskunks. Hello, everyone. I am Alex Chippert, and I will once again be your play-by-play broadcaster today. And the Pioneers still sitting atop the PGCBL West Division standings as we take a look at them right here. They are still sitting at number one. Very closely behind them is Batavia, sitting at 22 and 13. Obviously, the tie does not quite show on the standings. It doesn't show on point streak. It doesn't count because, once again, the standings are based off of win percentage, not off of overall record, which is why I don't have the tie on there. And so, Elmira is still sitting at the top, Batavia right behind them, and then Jamestown trying to get into the top two spots to try and host a playoff game. And of course, today is a major opportunity for both sides in order to gain some ground. Of course, for the Pioneers, if they are able to sweep Jamestown, that would be massive, as Batavia, Auburn, and Niagara are all not playing tonight. It is only Geneva and Newark that are playing each other. That's the only other game going on tonight, which means that if the Pioneers sweep the Tarpskunks, they'll be sitting at 24, 12, and 1, and that would get them 2 games ahead of the Muck Dogs, 2.5 games, I should say, and that would be massive. So a major opportunity here for the Pioneers in order to get some much-needed wins, in order to extend their lead in the standings and try and get that number one spot locked up as soon as possible. And of course, the end of the season is coming around real quick. There are only about 8 days left of the PGCBL season, 9 days, I should say, because the last game is on the 29th of July for the Pioneers. So 9 days left, including today, of the Pioneers 2023 season before we get to the playoffs. And of course, Pioneers sitting atop the West Division standings, which means as of right now they'll be in the playoffs, but it's so tight right now to where anything can happen. And so really the Pioneers got to continue, as I said yesterday, to put the foot on the gas pedal, keep getting wins, keep trying to improve themselves. They cannot become satisfied with keeping that number one spot. And so now I'm going to run through the starting lineup for the Jamestown Tarpskunks real quick here as the lineups are starting to be announced. Leading off for the Tarpskunks, it'll be number 38, Grady Mead, the shortstop. Batting second, it'll be number 11, Tommy Goggins, the second baseman. Batting third, it'll be number 13, Paul Catalano, the first baseman. Batting fourth, it'll be number 44, Jake Kernodle, the designated hitter. Batting fifth, it'll be number 20, Matt Thompson, the third baseman. Batting sixth, it'll be number 39, Zach Kent, the left fielder. Batting seventh, it'll be number 7, Evan Fragella, the catcher. Batting eighth, it'll be number 22, Kieran Gagnon, the center fielder. Batting ninth, it'll be number 23, Drew Garth, the right fielder. And batting 10th, it'll be number 9, Aiden Wallace, the extra hitter. And on the mound tonight for the Jamestown Tarpskunks in game 1 of this doubleheader, it'll be number 4, Casey Gilman, number 4, who will be getting the start here. And of course, the Pioneers so far this season are 1-3 versus Jamestown in the season series. They only got 1 win, and that was back in Jamestown, a 2-1 victory. They've lost 1-0 against Jamestown. They've lost 9-2 versus Jamestown. So they've lost in a variety of ways to Jamestown. And obviously, the Pioneers, if they were to get both wins, that would even up the season series overall at 3-3. And I do believe this is actually the last time the Pioneers will be playing the Jamestown Tarpskunks, which means that this is the last chance for them to even up this season series. And so now I'm going to go through my Pioneers starting lineup in game 1 of this doubleheader. Leading off, it'll be number 30, Cam Levesque, the left fielder. Batting second, it'll be number 77, Joe Muzio, the first baseman. Batting third, it'll be number 10, John Schroeder, the designated hitter. Batting fourth, it'll be number 8, Cooper Smith, the right fielder. Batting fifth, it'll be number 44, Chris Bear, the shortstop. Batting sixth, it'll be number 14, Jake Keller, the extra hitter. Batting seventh, it'll be number 47, Ray Hernandez, the third baseman. Batting eighth, it'll be number 4, Weston Gingrich, the center fielder. Batting ninth, it'll be number 16, Christian Zealy, the second baseman. Batting 10th, it will be number 15, Brody Bartenstein, the catcher. And on the mound tonight, getting the start in game 1 of this doubleheader, will be number 23, Eric Burkan. He will be getting his first start of the season in game 1 of this doubleheader here. And so now I'm going to take a quick step away for the national anthem. Well, it's a very nice rendition of the national anthem. And so now it appears as though we're about ready to get going here. So now Jamestown today in this doubleheader overall, I guess they're not going to be changing uniforms. Jamestown's going to be wearing their road blacks with the blue stripes and teal caps. Pioneers in their home reds with white pants and red caps today. And now you are currently watching number 23 Eric Burkhan start to do his warm-ups here as this one is about to get underway. Burkhan so far this season has made 4 appearances in league games. He's getting his first start here in game 1 of this doubleheader. He has a 23.15 ERA in 2.1 innings pitched. He's only thrown for 2.1 innings his entire season in 4 appearances. So it'll be interesting to see how he does in probably quite a lot more of a workload in today's game. He's given up 7 hits, 7 runs, 5 of those runs earned, 3 walks, and only has 2 strikeouts so far this season. The last time we saw Eric pitch was on the 13th of July versus Batavia, where he threw for 1 inning and had 1 strikeout. And so Burkhan is going to be the one tasked with trying to get through as many innings as possible and as cleanly as possible for the Pioneers. And of course, the Pioneers are down to pretty much nobody left in the bullpen. I mean, half the list because I got a list of all the pitchers that could possibly pitch tonight on the lineup sheet from Coach Drum, and half them are position players today. So really, the Pioneers have no arms left in the bullpen. They really are down to their last couple of arms here. And so Burkhan is one of those guys who is going to have to put on a couple of extra innings on top of his normal workload in order to try and help out the Pioneers, because all these double headers, and of course they just played 4 games a couple days ago against Geneva, and then they played a game in Niagara last night, and so now it's going to be really, really hard for all the arms to really try and get some rest and recovery. Of course, there are a couple off days coming up for the Pioneers, but those are still at least one more doubleheader away after today. But now, Grady Mee will be stepping in here, and the first pitch is laid down bunt by Mee, and Burkhan will throw to first, but not in time. So Mee will be safe. That'll be a leadoff single for Grady Mee here as he bunted down the third base line on the first pitch thrown from Eric Burkhan. So runner on first here in Mee for Jamestown, and this one is officially underway. And so now, number 11, Tommy Goggins will come up, the second baseman. Goggins so far has a .286 batting average of 20 starts. He has 9 runs, 18 hits, 2 doubles, 17 RBIs, 14 walks, and 4 strikeouts this season. Mee off of first. Burkhan will set deal. That one is down low for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Goggins. No outs here in the top of the first. Grady Mee over there at first for Jamestown. Burkhan 1-0. Will now set, deliver. That one is just outside. Ball 2, or inside, I should say. So 2-0 the count now to Goggins. No outs here in the top of the first still. Burkhan will look over to Grady Mee off of first. Burkhan 2-0 sets, delivers. That one is in there, called strike 1. So 2-1 the count now to Goggins. No outs here in the top of the first. Burkhan will look over to Grady Mee off of first. And now will set, deliver, swung on it, driven. That'll be a base hit into center. And that will be just a single as Gingerich will cut it off. So back-to-back singles here for the Tarpskunks to put 2 runners on with no outs here in the top of the first. And so now that'll bring up number 13, Paul Catalano, the first baseman tonight. Catalano, .240 batting average and 16 starts, 11 runs, 12 hits, 4 doubles, 4 RBIs, 10 walks, and 10 strikeouts so far this season. Runners on first and second for the Tarpskunks. No outs here in the top of the first. Burkhan will look over to Grady Mee off of second and now set, deliver. That one is just inside, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Catalano. No outs here in the top of the first. Pioneers are going to have to rely on their bats here in order to win these doubleheader games, as their pitching is not necessarily going to be elite, as they're down to their last couple arms. Burkhan will set deal. That one is lined down the right field line. However, that is going to be foul. That was a well-hit ball by Catalano that just turned foul down the first base line. And so the Count will even up 1-1 to Catalano. No outs here in the top of the first. Grady Me off of second. It's Goggins off first for the Tarpskunks. Burkhan will now set. Deal. That is outside, and Bartenstein will not be able to throw in time. So Grady Me has stolen third. And the count will go 2-1 to Catalano. So 2-1 the count to Catalano here. No outs in the top of the first. And Grady Me over there at third. Jamestown threatening to score already. Burkhan now 2-1. Will set. Deal. That one is just inside and down low for ball 3. So 3-1 the count now to Catalano. No outs here in the top of the first. Burkhan looking to avoid giving up a walk. That would load the bases. Burkhan now will set, deliver, swung on a driven over to first, and Muzio. Muzio will tag up and now throw home, but not in time. So that is a fielder's choice ground out. However, that will put one out on the board here in the top of the first, but that will also score a run for Jamestown. So Jamestown leads it 1-0 already in this ball game. So it's a 1-0 game off of that ground out by Catalano. So now, that will bring up number 44, Jake Coronado, the designated hitter. Coronado, a .218 batting average as Burkhan sets deals. That one is just upstairs for ball 1. So 1-0 the count now to Coronado. Coronado, like I said, .218 batting average in 17 starts, 11 runs, 13 hits, 1 double, 8 RBIs, 6 walks, and 9 strikeouts so far this season for Jamestown. Burkhan will set deal. Swung on a driven. Weekly over to second. Zealy will field it and throw to first in time, and that will be 2 away. So a ground out here by Coronado will put 2 outs here in the top of the first for Burkhan. And so Burkhan now looking to get 1 more out in order to end the inning and keep this at just a 1-0 ball game. And so now that'll bring on number 20, Matt Thompson, the third baseman. Thompson, a .228 batting average in 18 starts, 11 runs, 13 hits, 1 double, 8 RBIs, 6 walks, and 9 strikeouts so far this season. 2 outs here in the top of the first. It is still Goggins over there off of third. So still a little bit dangerous here for Burkhan as he will deal 1 outside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Thompson. It is Goggins over there at third for the Tarpskunks. Burkhan 1-0 will set, deliver. That one is upstairs, called ball 2. 2-0 the count to Thompson. 2 outs here in the top of the first. Burkhan needs to try and find a pitch here in order to get back in the count. Will set, deliver. That one is just inside for ball 3. That one looked like a good strike from up here, but umpire calls it ball 3. 3-0 the count now to Thompson. Burkhan really looking for an out to try and end the inning. Burkhan will set deal. That is outside ball 4. So that will be a walk for Thompson. And that'll put runners on the corners for the Tarpskunks with 2 outs. And now that'll bring up number 39, Zach Kent, the left fielder. Kent, a .180 batting average in 17 starts. 14 runs, 11 hits, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 9 RBIs, 8 walks, and 17 strikeouts so far this season. Runners on the corners for Jamestown with 2 outs here in the top of the first. It's already a 1-0 ball game. Burkhan looking to keep it that way. Burkhan now will set, deal, and Thompson's going to steal second, and he will steal second, and that will be in time, and Goggins will come across and score. So it is a 2-0 lead as Thompson tagged up and went home. So now it is 2-0 here. Jamestown leads it with 2 outs here in the top of the first. Burkhan still only 1-0 the count to Kent. Will now step off, throw to second. Zealy thankfully just caught that. That was not a great throw there by Burkhan over to Zealy, but Zealy able to adapt and get that ball. And so the count's still 1-0 to Kent here. And Thompson is at second. Burkhan now will set, deliver. That is just in there, called strike 1. That just caught the outside edge of the plate. So 1-1 the count now to Kent. 2 outs here in the top of the first. Burkan now will look over to Thompson, and now will set deal. That one is inside, ball 2. So 2-0 the count, or 2-1, excuse me, the count to Kent. 2 outs here in the top of the first. Burkan will look back over to Thompson. Thompson's going to try and steal third. That one is line to Bear at short. Bear will throw to Musio in time. And that will be the third out. So Burkan gives up 2 runs here in the top of the first. Pioneers bats will look to answer as we go to the bottom of the first right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the first inning here. Jamestown leads it 2-0 over the Pioneers here early in this one. Pioneers looking to answer with their bats. And so leading off this inning for the Pioneers, it'll be the left fielder, number 30, Cam Levesque. Levesque making his 16th start. He has a .222 batting average, 6 runs, 8 hits, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts, and 1 stolen base. Last time we saw Levesque was last night at Niagara, where he had 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 walk in that game. And so Levesque will step in here to face Gilman. And Gilman, by all accounts, is definitely a pitcher that Pioneers can get hits off of. He has a 4.67 ERA and a 1-3 record so far in 6 starts. In 27 innings pitched, he's given up 33 hits, 20 runs, 14 of those earned, and 14 walks with only 17 strikeouts as Levesque will foul that one left field side, and the count will go 0-1. Gilman sets deal, swing and a miss by Levesque, and the count quickly goes 0-2. So 0-2 the count to Levesque. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Gilman 0-2. Will now set, deliver, swung on a chop, back right in front of the catcher. Catcher will field it, throw to first. Not in time! Levesque beat it! Levesque beats the throw, and he will reach first. And that will be a base hit single for Levesque. And so now that'll bring up number 77, Joe Musio, the first baseman. Musio making his 23rd start. He has a .271 batting average, 9 runs, 19 hits, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 12 RBIs, 12 walks, 18 strikeouts, and 11 stolen bases so far this season. Last time we saw Musio out was last night at Niagara, where he had 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 stolen base. Gilman now will set deal. That one is in there, called strike 1. So 0-1 the count to Musio. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Levesque over there at first for the Pioneers. Gilman 0-1. Will now set, deliver, swing, and a miss by Muzio, and the count goes 0-2. So 0-2 the count to Muzio. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Levesque over there at first for the Pioneers. Gilman now 0-2 will set, deal. That one is upstairs and outside for ball 1. So 1-2 the count now to Muzio. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Levesque still over there at first for the Pioneers. Gilman 1-2 will now set, deal. Levesque is going to try and steal second, and that is going to be foul by Muzio. He fouled it down the first base line. And so the count will stay 1-2. Levesque will have to come back. Muzio now will step back in. Still 1-2 the count to him. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Yeoman looks over to Levesque. And now we'll set, deliver. That is inside, called ball 2. And Muzio almost check swung, but umpire didn't even give any sort of a signal. Now he says he's safe. Muzio didn't even fully bring the bat even horizontal to the plate, so he is safe for sure. So 2-2 the count now. It goes to Muzio. Levesque takes his lead off first still. Gilman will set, deal, swung on and chopped. Foul behind the plate by Muzio, so the count will stay 2-2. Count stays 2-2 to Muzio. Levesque off of first. Muzio looking for a base hit here in order to advance Levesque. Gilman will check over to Levesque on first, and he is safe. Levesque able to get back in time. Pretty quick throw and tag between Gilman and the first baseman. 2-2 the count to Muzio as they'll step back in. No outs here in the bottom of the first. Gilman looks over to Levesque. And now we'll set, deliver, swing, and a miss by Muzio. He will go down swinging. And that is the first strikeout for Casey Gilman of the night. And that'll put 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. And so now that'll bring on number 10, John Schroeder, the designated hitter tonight in game 1 of this doubleheader. Schroeder making his 33rd start. That leads the team in that category. A .316 batting average, 19 runs, 30 hits, 6 doubles, 5 triples, 1 homer, 14 RBIs, 24 walks, 20 strikeouts, and 11 stolen bases. He's been one of the best bats for the Pioneers as he takes a called strike 1 from Gilman inside. So 0-1 the count to Schroeder, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Levesque still over there at first for the Pioneers. Gilman will look over to Levesque. 0-1 will now set, deliver, swing, and a miss by Schroeder, and then the count goes 0-2. 0-2 the count to Schroeder, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Gilman looks over to Levesque again as he takes his lead. And now we'll set, deliver, and Levesque tried to steal second. He's got some speed, but unfortunately he's going to have to come all the way back now as Schroeder fouled that one behind the plate. So the count will stay 0-2. 0-2 the count to Schroeder, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Gilman looks over to Levesque. And now we'll set, deal, swung on a driven. That is a base hit in the center. That will be a single for Schroeder. And now that'll put runners on first and second here for the Pioneers with only 1 out here in the bottom of the first. And now that'll bring on number 8, Cooper Smith, the right fielder. Smith making his 22nd start. He has a .303 batting average, 10 runs, 20 hits, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 7 RBIs, 6 walks, 9 strikeouts, and 8 stolen bases so far this season for Smith. We saw him last night at Niagara where he had 1 hit and 1 strikeout in that game. He'll step in here with runners on first and second and only 1 out in the bottom of the first. Gilman now will set, deliver, swung on a driven. That'll be a base hit to the left. Down the third base line, that hit goes. That'll score Levesque, and Schroeder will slide in. That is an RBI double for Cooper Smith, and it is a 2-1 ball game. What a great start to the day for Cooper Smith, as that is an RBI double, immediately scoring a run that will make it a 2-1 ball game. And now that'll bring up number 44, Chris Bear, with runners on second and third. Schroeder went all the way to third off of that. Smith had second. Bear will step in here. There was still only one out in the bottom of the first. Infield all the way in, expecting bunt. Bear, 355 batting average and 11 starts as Gilman sets deals. That one is swung on and popped foul right, and it rolled away from the catcher. So the count will go 0-1 here. 0-1 the count to Bear. One out here in the bottom of the first. Gilman now 0-1 will set, deliver, swung on a driven. That might get down. No, it's just going to be foul. That one was lined down the first base line, and it just turned foul. So the count will go 0-2. 0-2 the count to Bear. One out here in the bottom of the first. Runner still on second and third for the Pioneers, who were looking to tie this one up or possibly even get the lead here early on. Gilman now 0-2 will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Bear. He will go down swinging. That is the second strikeout for Gilman, and that will put 2 outs here on the board in the bottom of the first. And so now that'll bring on number 14, Jake Keller, the extra hitter in game 1 of this doubleheader. And Keller making his 24th start, has a 260 batting average, 11 runs, 19 hits, 1 double, 1 RBI, 6 walks, 21 strikeouts, and 2 stolen bases so far this season. We saw him out last night at Niagara, where he had 2 hits and 1 run in that game. Gilman now sets deal, swung on and chopped foul. It's rolling down. That one hit off of Keller's leg, and he's shaken up a little bit. So 0-1 the count to Keller. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. That one, it looks like he's grabbing his shin guard, so I think that one hit him down low in the leg area. That one, the ball literally just rolled down the right field sort of walk-up path to home plate. 0-1 the count to Keller. And it looks like he'll just shake it off, and he'll be probably coming back to the batter's box here in a moment. And now he will step back in. Still runners on second and third for the Pioneers. It's Smith at second, Schroeder at third. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. 0-1 the count. Gilman now will set, deliver. That is down low for ball 1. So 1-1 the count to Keller as it evens up. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Gilman now 1-1 will set, deliver, swung on a driven. Third baseman catches it, will throw to first in time, and that will end the inning. So no more runs for the Pioneers. They do get 1 in the bottom of the first in order to make it a 2-1 ball game. We go to the top of the second right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the second inning here. Pioneers are currently down 2-1 to the Jamestown Tarpskunks in game one of this doubleheader today. And leading off this inning for the Tarpskunks, it'll be number 7, Evan Fergela, the catcher. It'll still be number 23, Eric Burkan, on the mound as Burkan will set deal. That one is called strike one. So 0-1 the count to Fergela. No outs here in the top of the second. Fergela, 292 batting average and 17 starts, 9 runs, 14 hits, 4 RBIs, 5 walks, and 9 strikeouts as he takes ball upstairs for ball one. So 1-1 the count now to Fergela. No outs here in the top of the second. Burkan will set, deliver, swung on it, popped into left. And it'll be Gingrich coming under, and he will make the play. So fly out by Fergela will put one out here in the top of the second early on. And so now that'll bring up number 22, Kieran Gagnon, the center fielder. Gagnon, a .255 batting average of 14 starts, 12 runs, 12 hits, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 1 homer, 9 RBIs, 5 walks, and 13 strikeouts so far this season. One out here in the top of the second. Burkan will set deal. That one is down low and outside for ball one. And Gagnon squared to bunt on that first pitch. So 1-0 the count to Gagnon. Burkan now will set, deliver. That one is inside ball two. So 2-0 the count to Gagnon. One out here in the top of the second. Burkan now 2-0. Will now set, deliver, swung on it, and popped foul right field side. And so the count will go 2-1. 2-1 the count to Gagnon. One out here in the top of the second. Burkan now 2-1. Will now set, deliver. That is inside ball three. So 3-1 goes the count to Gagnon. Burkan looking for a pitch here in order to get back in the count and not give up a walk. It would be his second one of the game. That one is upstairs, ball four, so that will be Burkan's second walk as Gagnon will now go over to first. Still only one out here in the top of the second, and now that I'm bringing over 23, Drew Garth, the right fielder. Garth, a .259 batting average and 17 starts, 10 runs, 15 hits, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 12 RBIs, 4 walks, and 9 strikeouts so far this season. Burkan will set deal, swung on and chopped back behind the plate foul. So the count will go 0-1. 0-1 the count now to Garth. One out here on the top of the second inning. By the way, Gagnon did try and steal second on that first pitch. Gagnon takes his lead. Burkan looks over there. 0-1 will now set, deliver. That one is just down low, ball two, and Gagnon does steal second base this time. So the count will even up at aces wild here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here on the top of the second, and Gagnon is over there now at second base in scoring position for the Tarpskunks. Burkan 1-1, looks over to Gagnon off his second. And now there's going to be a throw-out attempt here. Bear misses it. Zealy cuts it off, and we'll throw back to Burkan. Gagnon still safe at second. It's still 1-1 on the count here to Garth with 1 out here in the top of the second. Burkan now 1-1. We'll look over to Gagnon. And now we'll set, deliver, swung on a driven right field side, but that is foul. That was almost down the first base line, but it turned foul pretty quick. So the count will go 1-2 here to Garth. 1 out here in the top of the second. Burkan now 1-2, and Gagnon's going to completely steal third, and Hernandez was not in position. So no throw was made by Burkan, and Gagnon, speedster, stole third completely without a pitch being thrown. But still 1-2 the count to Garth here. Burkan looking for his first strikeout here. It would be massive to put 2 outs on the board in the top of the second. Burkan 1-2 will set, deal, swung on a driven right field side, but foul again. And so the count will stay 1-2 here. Burcan still looking for that first strikeout. Gagnon off of third, taking his lead. Burcan 1-2. Will now set, deliver. That is inside and down low for ball 2. So the count will now even up to Garth at 2-2 here. Still 1 out in the top of the second. Be massive if Burcan can get this strikeout to put 2 outs on the board, as that would mean any out would end the inning. Burcan will set, deal. That one is outside, ball 3. So now really a big pitch here for Burcan, trying not to give up his third walk of the ball game here and put runners on the corners for the Tarpskunks. Big pitch, 3-2. Burcan sets, delivers. That one is swung on down and foul down the first base line. That one almost caught the actual first base, but it just missed. So the count will stay 3-2 to Garth. Everyone's resetting here. Gagnon still over there at third for the Tarpskunks. 3-2 the count to Garth. Burcan now looking for the K, will set, delivers, check swing off of his bat, and so that is going to be foul. So the count will stay at 3-2. Garth sort of half swung at that, and I think it just caught the bottom of his bat, and it just got fouled behind him. 3-2 still the count. Burcan will set, deliver. That is inside, ball 4, and that will be a walk. So back-to-back walks here for Burcan. We'll put runners on the corners for the Tarpskunks with only 1 out here in the top of the second. And now that'll bring up number 9, Aiden Wallace, the extra hitter today in game 1 of this doubleheader. Wallace, a .083 batting average in 10 starts. He has 4 runs, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, 14 walks, and 10 strikeouts so far this season. 1 out again in the top of the second. Burcan now will set, deliver. That is swung on and popped back, foul right field side. So 0-1 the count now. 0-1 the count to Wallace. 1 out here in the top of the second. Burcan 0-1 will set, deal. That is down low and outside, and now Garth will go over to second as he stole it. And so 1-1 the count to Wallace. It's aces wild again. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here on the top of the second, but now runners on second and third for the Tarpskunks here. Burcan 1-1 will set, deal. That one is in there, called strike 2. So 1-2 the count now to Wallace. Burcan still looking for his first strikeout of the night, and this would be a big one to put 2 outs on the board. Burcan 1-2 will now set, deal. That one is upstairs, ball 2. So 2-2 the count to Wallace as it evens up. 1 out here in the top of the second. Still runners at second and third for the Tarpskunks. Burcan 2-2. Will now set, deliver. That is a swing and a miss by Wallace. He goes down swinging. That is the first strikeout for Eric Burcan, and that will put 2 outs here in the top of the second. That was a massive strikeout for Burcan. And now that'll bring him the leadoff man, number 38, Grady Mee, the shortstop. He singled in his first at-bat. Burcan will set, deliver. That one is upstairs, ball 1. So 1-0 count to Grady Mee. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Burcan looking for any outs in order to end the inning and go through this one cleanly. Keep this at a 2-1 ball game. Burcan 1-0 will set, deliver. Swung on a driven right field side, and that is foul. So 1-1 goes the count now as it evens up to Grady Mee. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Burcan 1-1 will now set, deliver. That is just inside ball 2. I thought that was going to be called strike 2, to be honest. But the count will go 2-1 in Grady Mee's favor. 2 outs here in the top of the second. And he out ends it for Burcan. Burcan now 2-1. Will now set, deliver. That is just outside. Called strike 2. He got the call on the very outside edge of the plate. And so the count will even up now at deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the second. Burcan looking for back-to-back strikeouts here to end the inning. Burcan now 2-2. Will now set, deliver. That is going to be inside, down low, ball 3. So massive pitch coming up here for Burcan. 3-2 full count to Grady Mee. If Grady Mee is walked, that would load the bases for the Tarpskunks with 2 outs. If Burcan gets the strikeout, that will end the inning and get Burcan out of this runners on second and third jam. 3-2, Burcan will set deal. That is way outside, ball 4. And so that will be a walk for Grady Mee. And now attempt out at home, and he is out! Gagnon tried to steal home, and he got caught. Burcan throws to Bartenstein to get the tag out, and that will end the inning. So the Tarpskunks, with Gagnon being overly aggressive, pays the price. No runs for them in the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second. Pioneers will look to answer right after this.
Who was my father, and he started Bully Hill Vineyards in 1967. My father had a vision for the Finger Lakes wine industry. When Bully Hill was started, only 5 producers existed, and now there's over 300. And he firmly believed that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my grandfather in the 1950s. And here at Bully Hill, we started the experimental farm, from where these hybrid varietals have made their way to almost all 50 states. As we become more environmentally conscious, we're looking for agricultural solutions that have less impact on the environment. Now, the French hybrids that my grandfather brought over in the 1950s already solved this problem ahead of time. They take half the amount of fungicide, and that was the backbone of what built Bully Hill, the French-American hybrids. My dad firmly believed that a product is an extension of a person's soul, and we still adhere to that today at Bully Hill Vineyards. His memory and his vision is still seen around the Finger Lakes.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the second inning here. Pioneers currently down to the Tarpskunks 2-1. Casey Gilman back on the mound here for the Tarpskunks to start the bottom of the second inning, and leading off in this inning for the Pioneers, it'll be number 47, Ray Hernandez, the third baseman. Hernandez making his 23rd start as a .203 batting average, 7 runs, 15 hits, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 2 homers, 9 RBIs, 2 walks, and 26 strikeouts, as that one is upstairs for ball 1 from Gilman. So the count will go 1-0 to Hernandez. No outs here in the bottom of the second, Gilman 1-0 will set, deliver, swung on and driven into center. That should be a fly out, and it will be as the center fielder catches it. And so a fly out here by Hernandez. Put 1 out on the board in the bottom of the second inning. And so now that will bring up number 4, Weston Gingrich, the center fielder, in game 1 of this doubleheader. Gingrich making his 22nd start, a 186 batting average, 14 runs, 11 hits, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 11 RBIs, 12 walks, 18 strikeouts, and 13 stolen bases, which actually leads the team in that category. Gingrich will take ball 1 upstairs and away from Gilman, so the count will go 1-0. 1-0 the count to Gingrich, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Gilman now 1-0. Will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Gingrich, and the count will even up quickly at aces wild. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Gilman now 1-1. Will set, deliver. That is upstairs, ball 2. So 2-1 the count here now to Gingrich. 1 out in the bottom of the second. Gingrich looking to get on. He's one of the faster players on the Pioneers roster, so he definitely is a threat to steal. As I said, he leads the team in that category. 2-1. Gilman will set deal. Swung on a driven first base side. That is foul. And so the count will now even up at 2-2. 2-2 the count to Gingrich as it evens up 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Gilman now 2-2 will set, deliver, swung on and chop foul right field side. So the count will stay at 2-2 to Gingrich. Still only 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Gilman now 2-2 will set, fire. That one is upstairs for ball 3. So full count here to Gingrich. 3-2, looking to draw a walk or get a base hit here to get a base runner on for the Pioneers. Gilman now 3-2 will set, fire, swung on it, pop back foul. And that one clangs off the roof here at Dunn, so the count will stay at 3-2. 3-2 still the count to Gingrich. Another big pitch coming up here for Gilman. Gilman 3-2 will now set, deliver, swung on a pop foul left field side this time by Gingrich, and so the count will stay full at 3-2. Gingrich just keeping himself alive here, doing a good job. Extending the at-bat, getting the pitch count up for Gilman. 3-2 the count still. Gilman now 3-2 will set, deliver, swung on it, popped into shallow right field. More like right center. It's turning more center field now, but the second baseman, Goggins, will catch it, and that will put 2 outs on the board. So pop out by Gingrich. We'll put 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. And now that'll bring up number 16, Christian Zeile, the second baseman. Zeile, we saw him start last night. He's a two-way player, can pitch and hit. Zeile played, making his 14th start, has a .219 batting average, 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 double, 3 RBIs, 5 walks, 15 strikeouts, and 3 stolen bases. Gilman sets, steals. That one is lined into right. Right fielder will come under, and he will make the play, and that will end the inning. So a fly out by Zeile to end the inning. Pioneers come up empty in the bottom of the second. We go to the top of the third after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the third inning here. Eric Pergan still on the mound for the Pioneers here to start at the top of the third. And leading off this inning for the Tarpskunks, it'll be number 11, Tommy Goggins. He's second baseman. He singled in his first at-bat. Pergan hoping to go another clean inning here for him in order to get the bats another chance in the bottom of the third to tie this ball game up or even take the lead. Pergan will set deal. That one is inside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Goggins. No outs here in the top of the third. Percan now will set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike 1 right in the middle of the plate. Count will now even up at 1-1 to Goggins. No outs here in the top of the third. Burkhan now sets, delivers. That one is down low and outside for ball one, or excuse me, ball two. So 2-1 goes the count to Goggins. No outs here in the top of the third. Burkhan will set, deliver. That one is down low for ball three. So 3-1 the count to Goggins. Burkhan trying to avoid giving up a leadoff walk here. Burkhan 3-1 sets, delivers. That one is in there. Called strike two, right down Broadway. So the count will now go full 3-2 now to Goggins. This is a big pitch for Burkhan, looking for his second strikeout of the night. Burkhan shakes off 2 pitches. And now we'll set, deliver, swing and a miss. He went, and that is a strikeout for Eric Burkhan. That is the second strikeout of the night for him, and that will put 1 out here in the top of the third inning. Goggins didn't want to swing at it, but he couldn't help himself, and that'll put 1 out on the board. And now that'll bring him number 13, Paul Catalano, the first baseman, grounded out in his first at-bat. Burkhan now will set, deliver. That is way outside. What a grab by Bartenstein. So 1-0 the count to Catalano. Bartenstein reached out and just picked that off the top of his glove in midair. What a grab. 1-0 the count. Burkhan now sets, delivers. That one is down low and inside for ball two. So 2-0 the count to Catalano. 1 out here in the top of the third. Burkhan 2-0 will set, deal. That one is upstairs for ball three. So 3-0 goes the count here now to Catalano. 1 out here in the top of the third. Burkhan still looking to avoid giving up his 4th walk of the night. Or excuse me, his 5th walk. Burkhan will set, deal. That one is in there. Called strike one, and he does just that. So 3-1 the count now to Burkhan. 1 out here in the top of the third. Burkhan 3-1 sets, deals. That one is swung on and popped into left. It'll be Levesque coming under, and he will make the play in left, and that'll be a fly out by Catalano to put 2 outs on the board in the top of the third. And so now with 2 outs in the top of the third, that'll bring up number 44, Jake Kernodle, the designated hitter. He grounded out in his first at-bat. Burkhan looking to go 1-2-3 in this inning. That'll actually be the first time all game that he has gone 1-2-3. It'd be very nice to see that from him. Pioneers, of course, looking for him to go as many clean innings as possible. Burkhan will set, deal. That one is just inside ball one. I thought that was a strike, to be honest. 1-0 the count to Kernodle. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Burkhan now will set, deliver. That is check swing outside. Called ball 2. So 2-0 the count now to Kernodle. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Burkhan 2-0 will now set, fire. That one is inside and upstairs, ball 3. So 3-0 the count to Kernodle. Burkhan needs a pitch here to avoid the walk. Burkhan 3-0 sets, deals. That one is inside, ball 4. And that will be a walk for Jake Kernodle to put a runner on first here with 2 outs in the top of the third. And now that'll bring on number 20, Matt Thompson, the third baseman. He was walked in his first at-bat. Burkhan, any out ends the inning for him. Just looking for 1. 2 outs here on the top of the third. Kernodle off of first for the Tarpskunks as Thompson will step into the batter's box here. Burkhan now will set, deal. That one is inside and upstairs for ball 1. Try to combine those 2 words. Didn't work out. 1-0 the count now to Thompson. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Burkhan will set, deliver. Swing and a miss by Thompson. The count goes 1-1. 1-1 the count to Thompson. 2 outs here in the top of the third. 1-1. Burcan will set deal. Swung on a driven. That'll be a base hit in the left field gap. And now that will just be a single as Levesque will cut it off. And so now that'll put runners on first and second here for the Tarpskunks with still 2 outs in the top of the third. So, like I said before, any out will end it for Burcan and get him out of this jam. And so now that'll bring in number 39, Zach Kent, the left fielder. He grounded out in his first at-bat. Burcan, 2 outs here in the top of the third. Runners on first and second for Jamestown. Will now set, deliver. That one is inside, called ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Kent. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Burcan 1-0. Will now set, deliver, swung on a driven. That'll be a base hit in the left. And now that'll score. No, it won't score a run as the runner will be held at third off of a good throw by Levesque. But that will be back-to-back singles here for Jamestown, which will load the bases for the Tarpskunks here with 2 outs in the top of the third. Burcan just needs 1 out in order to get out of this inning. He's struggling to find it. And now that'll bring in number 7, Evan Fergella, the catcher. He flew out in his first at-bat. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Ficaro beginning to warm in the bullpen for the Pioneers. Burcan now will set, deliver. That one is down low and outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Fergella. Burcan cannot afford to give up a walk here as that would walk in a run. 1-0 the count now. Burcan will set, deliver. That is down low, ball 2. So 2-0 the count to Fergella. Fergella just taken. He's not swinging at anything so far. 2-0 the count. Burcan needs a pitch here to get back into the count. 2-0. Burcan will set, fire. That one is outside, ball 3. So 3-0 goes the count to Fergella. If Burcan cannot come up with the strike here, he will walk in a run. Burcan 3-0. Will now set, deliver. That is going to be a hit by pitch. And so a hit by pitch will move Fergella over to first. And that will also score a run for Jamestown. So they now lead it 3-1 in this one. And like I said before, the Pioneers' bats are going to have to come alive here in order to try and keep them in it. Still, the bases loaded with 2 outs, and now Barnstein trying to calm down Burcan here a little bit, having a talk with him on the mound. And now that'll bring up number 22, Kieran Gagnon, the center fielder, who's walked in his first at-bat. Ficaro continuing to warm for the Pioneers in the bullpen. Barnstein and Burcan are on the same page here now, and Barnstein back behind the plate. Gagnon now will step in. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Still the bases loaded for Jamestown. Burcan now will set, deliver, swung on a driven. That is foul down the left field line. That one actually almost hit Thompson, who's the runner at third. He had to duck out of the way, and the count will go 0-1. Burcan 0-1. Will now set, fire. That one is in there, called strike 2. 0-2 the count now here to Gagnon. This is a massive opportunity for Burcan to keep the damage to just 1 run in this inning. Keep this a 3-1 ball game. Bases still loaded for Jamestown. 0-2. Burcan will set deal. That one is down low and outside, and Bartenstein gets away from him momentarily. But Thompson will stay where he is. So the count will go 1-2 to Gagnon. 2 outs here still in the top of the third. Burcan 1-2 can still pick up what would be his 3rd strikeout of the night here. Swing and a miss by Gagnon. He gets it. He struck him out. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Eric Burcan. And that will end the top of the 3rd inning. Jamestown does get a run, so it's 3-1 the score line here now. We go to the bottom of the 3rd where the Pioneers' bats will look to even it up right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the third inning here. Casey Gilman, is still on the mound for the Jamestown Tarpskunks here, and leading off this inning for the Pioneers, it'll be number 15, Brody Bartenstein, the catcher. Gilman now will set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike one to Bartenstein, so 0-1 goes the count. Bartenstein making his 14 starts as a 206 batting average, 6 runs, 7 hits, 9 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 1 stolen base as he swings and misses at pitch 2 from Gilman. And so the count will go 0-2. 0-2 the count to Bartenstein. No outs here in the bottom of the third. It'll be the top of the order up after Bartenstein. Levesque, Muzio, and then Schroeder. Gilman now 0-2 sets, delivers. That is upstairs for ball 1. So 1-2 the count to Bartenstein. No outs here in the bottom of the third. Gilman now 1-2. Will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Bartenstein. He goes down swinging. That is the third strikeout of the game for Gilman. And that'll put 1 out here in the bottom of the third. But now that'll bring up the top of the order and the leadoff man, number 30, Cam Levesque, the left fielder. He singled in his first at-bat. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Pioneers looking to close the gap or tie it up in this bottom of the third inning. And just to let everybody know, this is a doubleheader game, so that means only 7 innings of baseball, not the full 9. Gilman will set deal. That one is popped back right field side and foul. And so the count will go 1. 1-1 the count to Levesque. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Gilman now 0-1. Will set deal. That one is upstairs, ball 1. So the count will now even up at aces wild. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Gilman now 1-1 will set, deal, swing and a miss by Levesque, and the count will go 1-2. 1-2 the count goes to Levesque. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Levesque, who singled on a weird sort of chopped hit in front of the catcher, actually, and he will line one weakly over to third. Third baseman will field it, throw to first in time. He almost beat out the throw again. He almost got on in the 2 weirdest hits possible, but he does not this time, so that will put 2 outs on the board here now. And so now that'll bring up number 77, Joe Muzio, the first baseman. He struck out in his first at-bat. Muzio trying to get on base, get a hit here. Get something going for the Pioneers. They need their bats to come alive. And it's the heart of their order coming up. Schroeder, Smith, and then Bear after Muzio. However, 2 outs. Gilman will set deal. That is check swing. Called down low, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Muzio. Gilman 1-0. Well, now set, deal, swung on a pop straight up in the air. Skied, Muzio not happy, and the third baseman calls for it and makes the play. And so that will end the bottom of the third inning. No runs for the Pioneers, and 1, 2, 3 for Gilman. We go to the top of the fourth right after this. welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the fourth inning here. Pioneers down 3-1 to the Jamestown Tarpskunks in game one of this doubleheader. Eric Burkan back on the mound here for the Pioneers in the top of the fourth, and leading off this inning for the Tarpskunks, it'll be number 23, Drew Garth, the right fielder. He was walked in his first at-bat. Burkan now will set, deliver. That is inside, now low, ball one. That almost hit Garth. 1-0 goes the count. Burkan now 1-0. Will now set, deliver, swung on a, popped into shallow left. Shallow center, I should say. And Bear will come under to make the play. A diving effort by Bear, and that will be an out. So pop out by Garth. We'll put one out here in the top of the fourth. And so now that'll bring up number 9, Aiden Wallace, the extra hitter tonight. He struck out in his first at-bat. Burkan now will set, deliver. That one is called strike one. 0-1 the count now to Wallace. That one caught the top right corner of the strike zone. Burkan shakes off 2 pitches. Now nods. 0-1. Will now set, deliver. That is inside, ball one. So the count will now even up at aces wild here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the fourth. Burkan 1-1, sets, delivers, swung on a weakly chopped right to Burkan. Burkan will turn to Muzio at first in time, and that will be 2 away. A ground out by Wallace will put 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. And so now that'll bring up the leadoff man, number 38, Grady Mias. We are back to the top of the Jamestown lineup here. He's the shortstop in game one of this doubleheader. He singled in his first at-bat, was walked in his second at-bat. Burkan with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Any out ends it for Burkan. And he can get through this inning. 1, 2, 3 if he can get me out. Burkan will set deal. That one is down low and outside, ball one. So 1-0 the count to Grady Me. Burkan 1-0. Will now set, deliver. That one is just down low, ball two. 2-0 the count now to Grady Me. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Burkan looking for 1 out to end the inning. Burkan now will set, deliver. That one is just outside, called ball 3. So 3-0 goes the count to Grady Me. This will be back-to-back walks for Grady Me in his second and third at-bats. If he is walked by Burkan, I believe this would be Burkan's 6th walk of the night. Burkan will set deal. That will be Burkan's 6th walk of the night, as Grady Me will now jog over there to first. Still 2 outs here on the top of the fourth, but now a runner at first for Jamestown. And now that'll bring up number 11, Tommy Goggins, the second baseman. He singled in his first at-bat, struck out in his second at-bat. Still 2 outs here, so any out will end the inning for Burkan. Burkan will set deal, and Grady Me is immediately going to try and steal second, and he will steal second. The throw for Bartenstein was a little bit right of second base. So Grady Me on a 1-0 count stole second, and Goggins took ball one. So 1-0 the count to Goggins. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Burkan will look over to Grady Me. 1-0 will now set, deliver. That one is in there. How was that not a strike? I thought that was cleanly strike one, but that will be called upstairs and outside for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Goggins. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Burkan now will look over to Grady Me, and now will set, deliver. That one is in there, called strike one. So 2-1 the count now to Goggins. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Grady Me, an awfully big lead there over there at second base. Burkan, 2-1. Zeely shadowing. And now he's going to throw over there. Zeely once again just able to reach the throw by Burkan. Burkan threw it a little bit away from Zeely. Still 2-1 the count to Goggins as he'll step back in. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Burkhan 2-1 sets, deals. That one is just inside ball 3. So 3-1 the count here to Goggins. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Burkhan looking to try and get back in this count and make it full at least. Or get the out. Either way, it'd be good for Burkhan. 3-1. Burkhan now will set, deal. Grady Mee is going to try and steal third, and he will not. That is a punch out there, a throw out as Ray Hernandez able to get the throw for Bartstein to put the tag down immediately on Grady Mee, and that will be the final out of the top of the 4th. No runs for Jamestown in the top of the 4th inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th where the Pioneers bats will once again look to answer right after this. Welcome back here to the bottom of the 4th inning and the Pioneers live stream. Pioneers down 3-1 to Jamestown here in game 1 of this doubleheader today. Pioneers looking to try and tie this game or get a lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Casey Gilman still on the mound for the Tarpskunks. And leading off for the Pioneers in this inning, it'll be number 10, John Schroeder, the designated hitter in game 1. He singled in his first at-bat, looking to go 2 for 2 as Gilman will set deal. That one is fouled. Right field side by Schroeder, and the count will go 0-1. 0-1 the count to Schroeder. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Gilman now will set, deliver. That is outside ball 1. So 1-1 the count now as it evens up to Schroeder. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Gilman 1-1. Will now set, fire, swing and a miss by Schroeder. And the count will quickly go 1-2 here. 1-2 the count to Schroeder. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Gilman 1-2. Will now set, deal, swung on a driven. That'll be a base hit into right. And so that will be a single for Schroeder to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Pioneers. And now that'll bring up number 8, Cooper Smith, the right fielder, who RBI doubled in his first at-bat. Looking to go 2 for 2 here, just like Schroeder did before him. Smith will come to the plate here with no outs and Schroeder on first. This is the heart of the order for the Pioneers. 4, 5, and 6 will be up. Schroeder will take his lead off first as Smith will step in. Gilman now will set, deliver. That is upstairs, called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Cooper Smith. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Gilman now 0-1. Looks over to Schroeder. And now will set, deal, swing and a miss by Schroeder, and the count will go, swing and a miss by Cooper Smith. 0-2 the count to Smith. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Schroeder's the one on first. 0-2 the count to Cooper Smith. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Gilman 0-2 will now set, deliver, swung on a driven into center. Center fielder will be coming under it, and he will make the play. And so a fly out here by Cooper Smith will put one out on the board in the bottom of the fourth. And so now that'll bring up number 44, Chris Bear, the shortstop. Bear struck out in his first at-bat. He's been hot as of late. Looking to get a base hit here to try and advance Schroeder, who's still stuck over there at first. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. Gilman now will set, deal. That is going to be inside, almost hit Bear. And the count will go 1-0. 1-0 the count to Bear. Gilman now will set, deal, swing and a miss by Bear, and the count will now even up at 1-1. That was just a fastball that was blown right by Bear. So the count will even up at Aces Wild here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Schroeder still over there at first for the Pioneers. Bear looking to advance him. Gilman now 1-1. Will now set, fire. That one is down low, ball 2. So Bear will take the lead in the count, 2-1. Still 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Gilman now 2-1. Will now set, deliver. Schroeder is going to try and steal second. He will not steal second as he's going to be thrown out. And so the umpire is going to call him out there. It was a bang-bang play. It was Tommy Goggins who caught the throw. It was a good throw by the catcher. And so that'll put 2 outs on the board here in the bottom of the fourth. An unfortunate turn of events there. It would have been nice to have Schroeder on second for the Pioneers. So now Bear with a 3-1 count. Gilman will set, deal, swung on a driven over to shortstop. Shortstop will field it. Throw to first in time, and that will end the inning. So no runs for the Pioneers in the bottom of the fourth. We go to the top of the fifth. They're still down 3-1.
Division, where products for Polaris and other vehicle manufacturers are made. This is a high-volume, celled manufacturing plant that produces thousands of parts daily. Over time, Hilliard's product line has diversified, but our company has stayed true to our Elmira roots. Today, Hilliard maintains its original location while continually expanding its motion control and filtration product lines in the Elmira area. Hilliard designs and manufactures for companies around the globe, occupying more than 500,000 square feet and employing about 500 people. Taking pride in serving the Elmira community for over a century, the Hilliard Corporation.
For more than a century, you've counted on Arnett Health. Counted on us to heal you, support you, encourage you, get you back on your feet. And for more than a century, Arnett has counted on you too. You're our community, our purpose, our passion. You're the reason we do what we do. Because giving our patients the best of ourselves is just who we are. Looking forward while embracing our legacy. Staying on the cutting edge while staying connected to our patients. Focusing on state-of-the-art procedures and the most effective care. At Arnett, we're nurses, doctors, and teams of other caregivers inspired by healing. We know your physical, emotional, and spiritual health are each part of the whole of you. To continue a tradition of medicine driven by compassion, teaching, and healing. That's why we're here. It's who we are. It's what we do.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the fifth inning here. Eric Burkhan back on the mound here for the Pioneers. And now that'll bring up number 11, Tommy Goggins, the second baseman, who's leading off this inning for the Tarpskunks. This is only a 7-inning ball game, so the Pioneers are running out of time in order to try and steal this one. Burkhan, of course, trying to keep this a 3-1 ball game to give the Bats an opportunity to steal it, and potentially in the bottom of the fifth. Burkhan now will set, deliver, swung on a driven weakly over to Hernandez. Hernandez will field it, throw to first in time, and that will be one away. So a ground out by Goggins on the first pitch from Burkhan, and that's a very good start to the inning. And now that'll bring up number 13, Paul Catalano, the first baseman. Grounded out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat. Hernandez is in over there at third. All the infield is, the rest of it is out, and that's going to be called strike one as Catalano squared to bunt. So 0-1 the count to Catalano, one out here in the top of the fifth. Mercan 0-1. Well, now set, deliver, swung on it, popped up weakly, and Muzio is going to call for it in the infield grass, and he will make the play. So that will put 2 quick outs on the board for Eric Mercan here in the top of the fifth inning. And so now that'll bring up number 44, Jake Kernodle, the designated hitter. Ground out in his first at-bat, walked in his second at-bat. Mercan looking to go 1-2-3, just needs to get out Kernodle, and that would give the Pioneers bats another chance to answer. The bottom of the order's got to do something for the Pioneers. They haven't so far. They'll be looking to change that in the bottom of the fifth, but right now, Mercan's got to get this final out. Mercan sets deals, swing and a miss by Kernodle, and the count goes 0-1. That's a good start. 0-1 the count now. Mercan 2 strikes away. Mercan 0-1, 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Well, now set, fire. That one is in there. Called strike 2, just caught the outside edge of the plate. Mercan 1 strike away from ending the inning. He's looking for his 4th strikeout of the night. Mercan 0-2 will now set, deal, check swing, fouled, right field side. So the count will stay 0-2. And Kernodle just tipped that one off of his bat just to keep himself alive. Still 0-2 the count. Mercan now will shake off one pitch, now not. 0-2. Mercan will set, deal. That one is outside, called ball 1. So 1-2 the count now to Kernodle. 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Kernodle all the way in and all the way back in the batter's box. Has good reach, can get almost all the way across. Mercan will set, deal, swung on a driven right field side, and that is foul. So the count will stay 1-2. Still 1-2 the count as Mercan is taking his time here. And now is set. Mercan 1-2 will now set, deliver, swing, and a drop through strike. Bartenstein will throw to first in time. And that will be a drop through strikeout for Eric Mercan. And that will end the top of the fifth inning. So no runs here for Jamestown in the top of the fifth. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Pioneers looking to tie this one up or potentially even take the lead as they're running out of time in game 1 of this doubleheader. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the 5th inning here. Pioneers down 3-1 against Jamestown here in the bottom of the 5th. Leading off, it'll be number 14, Jake Keller, the extra hitter. Grounded out in his first at bat. Gilman will set deal. Outside ball 1, so 1-0 the count to Keller. Gilman still on the mound for the Tarpskunks here. No action in either bullpen. So the pitchers, Burkhan and Gilman, are probably going to go at least 6, if not 7. Gilman will set deal. That one is inside, called strike 1. So 1-1 the count now to Keller as it evens up. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Pioneers need to get the bats going, trying to tie this one up as they're running out of time. This is only a 7-inning ball game. And that one is in there, called strike 2. So 1-2 the count now to Keller. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Gilman now 1-2. Will now set deal. Swing and a miss by Keller, and he goes down swinging. Not the start the Pioneers were looking for. That is the 4th strikeout of the game for Gilman. And that'll put an out on the board here in the bottom of the 5th. And so now that'll bring up number 47, Ray Hernandez, the third baseman. Flew out in his first at-bat, and Hernandez always has home run power. He's always a danger with the bat. And this would be a perfect time for one here to at least make it a 1-run ball game. If he solos shots one here. He did have one here at Dunn Field earlier on in the season. That was against Auburn. And Gilman will set deal. Swing and a miss by Hernandez, and the count will go 0-1. So 0-1 to Hernandez. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Hernandez now down will be taken. Called strike 2. So 0-2 the count out to Hernandez. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Gilman 0-2. Will now set deal. Swung on a driven right to the first baseman. First baseman will go to Gilman, and he will tag up at first and get the out. So that'll be a ground out by Hernandez to put 2 outs on the board here in the bottom of the 5th. Not what the Pioneers were looking for. As now that'll bring up number 4, Weston Gingrich, the center fielder. He popped out in his first at-bat. Pioneers need their bats to do something here against Gilman. The top of their order has been pretty good. But the bottom here, the 6 through 10 hitters, even the 5 through 10 hitters have not done a whole lot today so far in this game 1. Of course, there's still time for that to change. But it'll have to change quickly here if the Pioneers are going to want to come back here in this game 1. 0-1 the count to Gingrich because he took strike 1. Gilman now 0-1 will set deal. Swung on a driven into center. Shallow infield. It might drop. No! As Grady Me, the shortstop, will scoop it up. And that will, unfortunately, end the inning. A fly out by Gingrich to end the bottom of the 5th. We go to the top of the 6th. Pioneers still down 3-1. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 6th inning here, and there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Pioneers in the top of the 6th. It is number 55, Nick Vaccaro. Vaccaro making his 8th appearance as a 3.08 ERA in 11.2 innings pitched. He's only given up 5 hits, 4 runs. All those hit runs earned, 7 walks, and has 3 strikeouts this season. Last time we saw him pitch was on the 17th versus Geneva, where he had 1 inning of work and had 1 strikeout in that inning. He'll be relieving Eric Burkan, who went 5 innings, only giving up 3 runs on 4 hits. So a very, very good outing for Burkan. He's given the Pioneers a chance maybe to steal this one if they can get some hits off of Gilman. And it looks like Gilman's still going to be out there as there's no action in the bullpen. And I'm not surprised. I think Jamestown's probably just going to ride him as long as they possibly can. So Vaccaro is finishing warming up here. He'll have to face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Tarpskunks in this top of the 6th inning. Leading off, it'll be number 20, Matt Thompson, the third baseman who was walked in his first at-bat, then singled in his second at-bat. Vaccaro looking to go cleanly through this inning. If he can, Pioneers can hopefully at least close the gap a little bit in the bottom of the 6th before heading to the 7th inning. And of course, like I've said before, this is only a 7-inning ball game due to the fact that this is a doubleheader. So Pioneers are quickly running out of time. They'll be down to 6 outs in the bottom of the 6th to try and even this game up. But of course, first, Vaccaro has got to keep the score where it is. So now Thompson will be coming at the plate. Thompson at the plate now. Vaccaro will set deal. That one is outside, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Thompson. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Vaccaro 1-0 will now set, deliver. That is upstairs, ball 2. So 2-0 the count now to Thompson. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Vaccaro now 2-0. Will now set, deal. That one is in there. Called strike 1. So 2-1 the count to Thompson. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Vaccaro 2-1. Will now set, deal. That is outside, ball 3. Thompson did show bunt on that pitch. He did square for it. So 3-1 the count to Thompson here. Vaccaro looking to dodge, giving up a leadoff walk. Vaccaro 3-1 will now set, deal. That one is upstairs, ball 4. That will be a leadoff walk here for Thompson with no outs here in the top of the 6th. And so now that'll bring up number 39, Zach Kent, the left fielder. Grounded out in his first at-bat, singled in his second at-bat. Vaccaro with now a runner on first and no outs here in the top of the 6th. Vaccaro looks over to Thompson and now will set, deliver. That is outside, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Kent. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Vaccaro 1-0 will set, deal. That one is just inside, ball 2. So 2-0 goes the count to Kent. No outs here on the top of the 6th. Thompson off first for the Tarpskunks. Vaccaro sets, deals, swung on a chop back, foul. And the count will go 2-1. The count to Kent. No outs here on the top of the 6th. Thompson off first. Vaccaro looks that way. And now sets, fire, swung on a driven over Hernandez's head. And that will be a base hit. That'll be held just to a single as Levesque will cut it off. The runners on first and second here now for the Tarpskunks with no outs here in the top of the 6th. And so now that'll bring up number 7, Evan Fergella, the catcher, flew out in his first at-bat, hit by a pitch in his second at-bat. Vaccaro will set, deal. That is outside, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Fergella. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Runners on first and second. Vaccaro really looking for an out here. Double play is available. Vaccaro now 1-0. Will set. Deal. Swung on and popped up right field side. That is out of play. Muzio's going for it, but he'll run out of room. So the count will even up now. 1-1 to Fergella. No outs here in the top of the sixth still. Vaccaro 1-1. We'll shake off one pitch. And now will come set. Vaccaro now sets, fires, swung on a driven. That'll be a base hit in the left. And that is going to score a run. As Thompson will come all the way home. The throw is not in time, and he will be safe at home. And Jamestown leads it 4-1 in game one of this doubleheader. And so now the task becomes even more difficult for the Pioneers to try and come back in this one. As that is an RBI single by Fergella. Still runners on first and second and no outs here in the top of the sixth. And now that'll bring up number 22, Kieran Gagnon, the center fielder. He was walked in his first at-bat, struck out in his second at-bat. Vaccaro now will set, deal, and now they're going to try and steal both bases, and Hernandez drops it out of his glove. He couldn't quite put a tag on. That was called strike one to Gagnon, however. And now the ball is getting away from Vaccaro, and now the runner is throwing home. Barnstein will not get the tag down in time, and that is safe. And so Kent has scored, and it's now 5-1. The throw back to Vaccaro got away from him, and then the runner Kent was able to run home and steal it. So now it is a 5-1 ball game. And the task becomes even more difficult. Still no outs here in the top of the sixth. And Vaccaro 0-1 the count to Gagnon. Vaccaro 0-1. Infield all the way in. Will now set. Deal. That is going to be a hit by pitch walk. And so Gagnon is going to be a hit by pitch all the way. Goes over there to first. And so now that'll bring on number 23, Drew Garth, the right fielder. Walked in his first at-bat, popped out in his second at-bat. And so now Barnstein wants to have a word with Vaccaro. Runners on the corners here for the Tarpskunks. No outs in the top of the sixth. So Vaccaro really looking for some outs to try and get out of this inning, get the bats back up for the Pioneers. But the bats will have a lot of work to do. They want to try and come back in this one. They're down 4 runs. Garth will step back in here now. Vaccaro will look over to first and Gagnon. And now will set, deliver, and Gagnon's going to try and steal second. He will steal second. Zili's going to throw back home. The throw and the tag is not in time. He's going to be safe, and the call infuriates the crowd. It looked like Barnstein might have gotten it in time. But the umpire rules him safe, so it is 6-1 here. And the crowd is infuriated. And so now Gagnon will be at second. The crowd is just giving it to the umpires right now. That'll make it a 6-1 ball game. And 1-0 the count to Garth. Vaccaro now 1-0. Will step off and pump fake throw over to second. He actually didn't. 1-0. Vaccaro will set deal. Gagnon, that's going to be a hit by pitch walk. And now Gagnon's going to go over to third. Or no, he's going to have to come back to second. So Gagnon will go back to second. And now Garth will go over to first on a hit by pitch. That's back-to-back hit by pitches for Vaccaro. And so still no outs here in the top of the sixth. And the score reads 6-1. And now that'll bring up number 9, Aiden Wallace, the extra hitter. Struck out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. Vaccaro looking for any out. Vaccaro will set deal, swung on a driven. That'll be a base hit in the center. And that might score Gagnon. Gagnon will be held up, so The throw from Gingrich was good. Back all the way to Barnstein. And so the count will, or excuse me, the bases will go loaded here. Bases loaded for the Tarpskunks. Still no outs here in the top of the third. Ficaro has not had a good start. Giving up 3 runs here in the top of the 6th. All those are going to be earned. And so now we go to the top of the order here for Jamestown at number 38, Grady Mead, the shortstop. Singled in his first at-bat, walked in his second at-bat, walked in his third at-bat as well. Figaro now will set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike 1. Just caught the outside edge of the plate. So the count will go 0-1. Figaro 0-1 will now set, deal. That is outside, ball 1. So 1-1 the count now as it evens up to Grady Mee. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Bases loaded for the Tarpskunks. Figaro 1-1 will now set, deal. Swing and a miss by Grady Mee, and the count will go 1-2. Figaro looking for his first strikeout of the game here, and to finally put an out on the board here in the top of the 6th. Figaro 1-2. Shakes off one pitch, and now will come set. 1-2. Figaro sets, deals, swung on a chop back, foul by Grady Mee, and so the count will go 1-2. Or excuse me, the count will stay at 1-2. 1-2 still the count to Grady Mee. No outs here in the top of the 6th still. Looks like it's Kevin McGovern warming up in the bullpen potentially for the Pioneers. He might be coming in to relieve Figaro if the bats can get a couple runs. Figaro will set, deal. That one is upstairs for ball 2. So 2-2 the count to Mee. To Grady Mee, I should say. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Base is still loaded for the Tarpskunks. That one is outside for ball 3. So 3-2 the count. Full count here to Grady Mee. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Down, swing and a miss by Grady Mee. Or no, it wasn't a swing and a miss. He fouled it off of his bats, so the count will stay at 3-2. Grady Mee keeping himself alive here. 3-2 the count. Three and two the count to Grady Mee. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Base is still loaded for Jamestown. Figaro will set, deal. That is outside and upstairs, ball 4, and that will walk in a run. So the Pioneers are all of a sudden now down 6 runs as the scoreboard reads 7-1 Jamestown. And so now that will bring up number 11, Tommy Goggins, the second baseman. He singled in his first at-bat, struck out in his second at-bat, grounded out in his third at-bat. Base is still loaded for the Tarpskunks. Still no outs on the board here in the top of the 6th. And now it looks like time is going to be granted as Coach Eugene is going to be calling on the bullpen here. And to number 71, Kevin McGovern. McGovern's going to be coming in to relieve Figaro after Figaro gave up 4 runs in the top of the 6th, and it's still the bases loaded with no outs. So McGovern will be coming in here to try and save the situation for the Pioneers. McGovern, Kevin McGovern, number 71, making his 5th appearance as a 24.3 ERA in 3.1 innings pitched. He's given up 8 hits, 11 runs, 9 of those earned, 5 walks, and has 5 strikeouts this season. Last time we saw McGovern pitch was on the 1st of July versus Niagara, where he threw for 0.2 innings, gave up 4 earned runs, and had 1 strikeout. So McGovern will be warming up here with no outs here in the top of the 6th. Bases loaded for Jamestown. And it'll be Tommy Goggins at the plate. I'm going to take a quick step away as McGovern will take his time to warm up. back here now as McGovern has warmed up, and it'll be Tommy Googans at the plate. Number 11, the second baseman. McGovern now will set, deal. That one is outside. Called strike one. So 0-1 the count to Googans. No outs here on the top of the sixth. Base is still loaded for the Tarpskunks. McGovern sets, deals. That one is upstairs and outside. And that one actually gets by Bartenstein. That'll score a run. And so now it is 8-1 as a pitch that got away from Bartenstein will score Garth. So it is 8-1 here in game one of this doubleheader between Tarpskunks and the Pioneers. So McGovern 1-1 the count to Googans. No outs here in the top of the sixth still. Runners on second and third for the Tarpskunks. McGovern 1-1. Will now set, deliver. That is going to be upstairs and inside for ball two. So 2-1 the count now as Googans takes the lead. No outs here in the bottom of the sixth, or excuse me, top of the sixth, not bottom. McGovern looking to just get an out on the board. McGovern 2-1 will set, deliver, swung on a driven left field side. That is foul and out of play. So the count will go 2-2 here now as it evens up to Googans. No outs here still in the top of the sixth. McGovern 2-2 will now lean in to Googans. McGovern sets, deals. That is way upstairs. Bartenstein had to jump to get it, and he did catch it. So the count will now go full to Googans, 3-2. McGovern does not want to walk Googans here as that would load the bases again for the Tarpskunks. McGovern 3-2. Will now set, deal. That is upstairs, ball four, and that will be a walk for Tommy Googans to load the bases for the Tarpskunks here with no outs still in the top of the sixth inning. And now that'll bring on number 13, Paul Catalano, the first baseman. Grounded out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, and then popped out in his third at-bat. Still no outs here in the top of the sixth. Bases once again loaded for Jamestown. That one is swung on a driven right field side. That is foul. And so everyone will come back now on the first pitch swinging from Catalano. So the count will go 0-1 now. No outs here in the top of the sixth. Base is still loaded for Jamestown. If that had been an actual base hit, that would have probably cleared the bases entirely. That was right down the first base line. Just was about a foot to the right or foul of it. So 0-1 the count now to Catalano. McGovern will set, deal. That is outside, ball two, or excuse me, ball one. So 1-1 the count now to Catalano as the count will even up. Still no outs here in the top of the sixth. Bases still loaded for the Tarpskunks. McGovern now, 1-1, will set, deal. Swung on a driven. That is down the first base line. That is going to be fouled again. Just by about 6 inches, that is foul. That one just turned foul about a step before the first base. And so the count will go 1-2. 1-2 the count to Catalano. McGovern looking for his first strikeout here to finally put an out on the board here for the Pioneers in the top of the sixth. It's been through 2 pitchers, and there's still no outs here in the top of the sixth. McGovern, 1-2. Will now set, deliver, swung on a driven. That is foul right field side again. Again, Catalano fouling away down that first base line. Once again, about 2 feet foul of it. Catalano just staying alive, extending this at-bat. McGovern 1-2. Will now set, deal, swung on a pop to left field side, foul this time. And so the count will stay 1-2. Catalano doing a great job of just staying alive here. It's been frustrating for the Pioneers as they can't get him out to at least just put one out on the board. It's still no outs here in the top of the 6th. Base is still loaded for Jamestown. I believe the mercy rule for a doubleheader game is 12 runs. So Tarpskunks would have to put up 5 in order to make it a 12-run difference of a ball game, and the Pioneers would still get a chance to answer in the bottom of the 6th. McGovern will set deal. That one is swung on and popped left field side foul. And so the count will go 1-2 to Catalano. Catalano just continuing to stay alive. Base is still loaded. Catalano, if he can finally get a base hit here, that'd be devastating. McGovern will set deals. Swung on and pop foul again. That one hit off of Catalano. And so this is a battle between McGovern and Catalano. This has gone on for about 9 pitches now. 9 or 10 at this point. Catalano got the worst of that one as he got hit in his ankle. And so the count will go 1-2 still. Catalano, 1-2 still the count. No outs here in the top of the 6th. McGovern will set, deal, swung on a driven right. Back to McGovern. He will go to home, but not in time. And no, they will be in time. They're going to call him out. And so Catalano on a fielder's choice will reach first, but there is finally one out here in the top of the 6th as the runner, which was number 9, so that is Wallace, who was coming home, was thrown out. McGovern turned to Bartenstein at home and just got him in time. So one out here in the top of the 6th, and now that'll bring him number 44, Jake Coronado, the designated hitter. Grounded out in his first at-bat, walked in his second at-bat, struck out in his third at-bat. McGovern with one out here in the top of the 6th. Base is still loaded. We'll set deal. That one is down low for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Coronado. One out here in the top of the 6th. McGovern 1-0. Will now set, fire. That one is just upstairs, ball 2. So 2-0 the count to Coronado. One out here in the top of the 6th. McGovern sets steals. That one is down low and outside for ball 3. So 3-0 the count to Coronado here. If Coronado is walked, that'll walk in a run for the Tarpskunks and keep the bases loaded. McGovern 3-0. Will now set, fire. That is going to be upstairs. Bartenstein jumped up and caught that, but that will be a ball 4 walk for Coronado, so that'll walk in a run, as it will be Grady Mee who scores, and now the Tarpskunks lead at 9-1. Still only one out here in the top of the 6th, and the bases are still loaded for Jamestown. As now that'll bring up number 20, Matt Thompson, the third baseman. He was walked in his first at-bat, singled in his second at-bat, walked in his third at-bat. McGovern now will set, deal. That one is in there, called strike 1. 0-1 the count now to Thompson. One out here in the top of the 6th. McGovern will set, deliver. That is down low and outside for ball 1. So the count will now even up at aces wild here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Thompson now will step back into the batter's box. McGovern 1-1 will set, deliver. That is down low and outside for ball 2. So 2-1 the count to Thompson. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. McGovern 2-1 will set, fire. That one is popped up from the right field side and foul and out of play, and that clangs off the metal roof. So the count will now even up at 2-2. Still bases loaded here. 2-2 the count to Thompson. Only one out here in the top of the 6th. McGovern leans in. And now will set, fire. Swung on it, driven straight to the shortstop at Bear. Bear will turn to second, throw to first in time, and that will end the inning. A 6-4-3 double play to finally get the Pioneers out of it. We will go to the bottom of the sixth. Pioneers down 9-1. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the sixth inning here. Pioneers down 9-1. It is still Casey Gilman out there for the Tarpskunks. And leading off this inning for the Pioneers, it'll be number 16, Christian Zeely, the second baseman. Gilman will set deal. That one is in there. Called strike one. So 0-1 the count now to Zeely. No outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Gilman now 0-1 will set deal. That one is just down low. Ball one. So 1-1 the count now to Zeely. No outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Pioneers need to get the bats going if they want any hope. They only have 6 outs to work back 8 runs as that one is fouled back behind the plate. And so the count will go 1-2. 1-2 the count to Zeely. Gilman now will set deal. Swung on it, popped right field side, foul and out of play. So the count will stay 1-2. Gilman now 1-2 will set, deliver. That is outside, ball 2. So count will now even up 2-2 to Zeely. No outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Gilman now will set deal. Swung on it, popped up, skied by Zeely. The second baseman will be coming under, and he will make the play. And so that will be a pop out by Zeely to put 1 out on the board here in the bottom of the sixth. And so now that'll bring up number 15, Brody Bartenstein, the catcher, who struck out in his first at-bat. 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth. Gilman now will set, deliver. That is upstairs, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Bartenstein. 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth. Gilman will set, deliver. That is inside, ball 2. So 2-0 the count to Bartenstein. 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth. The walk would not be bad to get the top of the order back up for Elmira. Of course, then again, to get 8 runs, just about everybody's going to have to do and get a base hit or get on. 3-0 goes the count to Bartenstein. Bartenstein trying to draw a walk here to get the top of the order up for the Pioneers. Gilman 3-0. Will will now set, deliver. That is inside ball 4. So that will be a walk for Brody Bartenstein to put a runner on first with only one out here in the bottom of the 6th for the Pioneers. And so now that'll bring on number 30, Cam Levesque, the leadoff man, the left fielder. He singled in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. And so now the catcher wants to have a talk with Gilman. It was a very quick word as Gilman's on the same page with the catcher. Now, with Levesque at the plate, trying to at least advance Bartenstein here. Bartenstein will take his lead off first. Gilman will look over there. And now we'll set, deliver, swing and a miss by Levesque, and the count will go 0-1. 0-1, the count to Levesque, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Gilman now. We'll look over to Bartenstein. And now we'll set, deal, that is outside ball 1. So the count will go aces wild here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Gilman now 1-1. Will set, fire, swing and a miss by Levesque, and the count quickly goes 1-2. 1-2 the count to Levesque, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Gilman looks over to Bartenstein at first. And now we'll set, deliver, that is just outside, cold strike 3. Levesque goes down looking, and that will put 2 outs on the board here in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Pioneers. And so now that'll bring on number 77, Joe Muzio, the first baseman. Struck out in his first at-bat, popped out in his second at-bat. Bartenstein still over there at first for the Pioneers. Gilman now will set, deliver. That is upstairs and outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Muzio. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Muzio fires one. That is a base hit into right. It came off the first baseman's glove. Bartenstein's going to go to third, and Muzio will be stuck at first. So that'll be a base hit single for Muzio into right off the first baseman's glove. And that'll put runners on the corners here for the Pioneers with 2 outs on the board. And so now that'll bring up number 10, John Schroeder, the designated hitter. He singled in his first 2 at-bats. He's 2 for 2 tonight, the only one on the Pioneers lineup that is 2 for 2. Looking to make it 3 for 3 here. Gilman now looks over to Muzio off of first. And now we'll set, deliver, swung on it, driven. That is a base hit into right! And that'll score a run for the Pioneers. John Schroeder, 3 for 3 this time with an RBI single to make it a 9-2 ball game. An RBI single for John Schroeder makes it 9-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Still runners on first and second. Gilman is still on the mound. No action in the Tarpskunks bullpen. And now that'll bring on Ray Cooper Smith, the right fielder, who RBI doubled in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Runners on first and second for the Pios. Gilman will set deal. That one is in there. Called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Smith. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Schroeder off of first. Muzio off second for the Pioneers. Pioneers looking to chip away at this lead. Gilman now. 0-1 sets deal. Swung on it. Driven up to center and shortstop. Shortstop will tag up at second base himself and end the inning. So only 1 run for the Pioneers in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the top of the 7th. They're still down 9-2. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 7th inning here. Pioneers down 9-2 against the Jamestown Tarpskunks in game 1 of this doubleheader. And so now, Kevin McGovern still on the mound here for the Pioneers to start the top of the 7th. And it'll be number 39, Zach Kent, leading off here for the Tarpskunks. McGovern now will set, deliver. That is upstairs, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Kent. No outs here in the top of the 7th. McGovern 1-0 will set, deliver. That is upstairs and outside. Kent had a duck out of the way of that one. So the count will go 2-0. 2-0 the count to Kent. No outs here in the top of the 7th. McGovern will set deal. That one is upstairs, even over Bartenstein, and so the count will go 3-0 now to Kent. McGovern trying not to give up a leadoff walk here. McGovern 3-0 will set deal. That is upstairs, ball 4. So that'll be a leadoff walk here for Zach Kent with no outs in the top of the 7th. So now, that'll do it for McGovern, I do think. And it looks like there's going to be a new pitcher coming in here. I don't actually know who this is. This is number 0, a brand new player. I've never seen this guy before. It's Shane Urbain's number, but I don't think it's Shane Urbain. Shane Urbain has left the team a little while ago. So I'm going to take a step away and try and figure out who this is, and I'll be back with an answer right after this. So actually, I'm back here now, and I thought our stats guy, Nate, would have the answer and be able to tell me who this is. Okay, so I actually was just told. So it is number 0, Cameron Sullivan, who will be pitching here. This is his first appearance. I've never seen him before. And so he will be making his first appearance here. I'm honestly glad to see a new pitcher for the Pioneers, as the Pioneers need arms late in the season. They've had a lot of arms leave the Pioneers in recent times, so it's good to get more arms in. So Sullivan here will be coming in the top of the 7th with no outs and a runner on first for the Tarpskunks. It'll be number 7, Evan Fergella, the catcher at the plate. Sullivan now warming up, taking his time. No outs here in the top of the 7th. 9-2 ball game. This will be a good window into to see what Sullivan's going to be able to deliver for the Pioneers. Hopefully he's good. Like I said, I have no scouting report on him, no stats on him, no nothing. And so now that'll bring on number 7, Evan Fergella, the catcher. Flew out in his first at-bat, hit by a pitch in his second at-bat, and then RBI singled in his third at-bat. Sullivan now will be setting up on the mound. Runner on first and Kent for the Tarpskunks. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Sullivan sets deals. That one is upstairs, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Fergella. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Sullivan looks over to Kent. And Kent's going to try and steal second, and that is called strike 1, and Bartenstein will not throw. So the count will even up 1-1 to Fergella, and Kent safely over there at second. Sullivan now, 1-1, looks over to Kent. And now we'll set, deliver, swing and a miss by Fergella, and the count goes 1-2. 1-2 the count to Fergella. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Kent off of second for Jamestown. Sullivan looking for his first strikeout here. Sullivan 1-2 will set, deal, swung on and pop foul. And now Kent's going to have to run back as he was trying to steal third. And so Kent will be jogging back over to second base. And the count will stay 1-2 to Fergella. Sullivan now 1-2. Will now set, deliver, swung on and driven straight to the shortstop, Bear. Bear will lose it, and that is going to be not in time. So a reach by error there will now allow runners to be on the corners for Jamestown with no outs in the top of the 7th. A rare error there by Bear. He just took a bad hop off of his glove. And so now that'll bring up number 22, Kieran Gagnon, the center fielder. He was walked in his first at-bat, struck out in his second at-bat, and then hit by a pitch in his third at-bat. Sullivan now will lean into Gagnon. Look over to first. And now we'll set, deliver. That is going to be inside, ball 1, almost hit Gagnon. And the count will go 1-0. Sullivan 1-0, set, steals. That one is caught on the outside of the plate, so the count will go 1-1. That just caught the outside edge. 1-1 now, the count to Gagnon. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Runners on the corners for Jamestown. Sullivan will set, deal, swing and a miss by Gagnon. And now Fergella will be at second as he stole it. So 1-2 goes the count to Gagnon. Fergella at second base. Runners on second and third here now for Jamestown. Still no outs in the top of the 7th. Sullivan will set, deal. That one is called. Strike 3. He struck him out. That's the first strikeout for Sullivan. And now that'll put one out here finally on the board for the Pioneers. And so now that'll bring up number 23, Drew Garth, the right fielder. Was walked in his first at-bat, popped out in his second at-bat, hit by a pitch in his third at-bat. Sullivan will set, deal, swung on and pop back foul off the top of Garth's bat. And so the count will go 0-1. Garth will step back in, 0-1 the count, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Still runners in the second and third for Jamestown. Sullivan will set, deal, swung on and popped left field side, but foul. And the count will go 0-2. 0-2 the count to Garth. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Sullivan now will lean in. Looking for back-to-back strikeouts to put 2 outs on the board here in the top of the 7th. Sullivan will set, deal, popped right field side, but foul and out of play. So the count will stay at 0-2 to Garth. Going to the count to Garth. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Sullivan 0-2. Will set, deliver, swung on it, popped right by Sullivan. Bear will not field it. He missed it again. And that'll be another reach by error. And that'll also score a run. So it is 10-2 now in Jamestown's favor. As Bear once again missed it. That was off the front of his glove. Back-to-back errors for Bear. And so now Garth will be at first. And it'll be Fergella over there at third. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. And now that'll bring on number 9, Aiden Wallace, the extra hitter. Struck out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat, singled in his third at-bat as that one is in there. Called ball 1 to Wallace, that he had to back out of the batter's box there. 1-0 the count. Sullivan now will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Wallace, and the count will go 1-1. 1-1 the count to Wallace. One out here in the top of the 7th, so ace is wild. Sullivan looks over to Garth. And now we'll set, deliver. That is just outside. Called strike 2. 1-2 the count now to Wallace. One out here in the top of the 7th. Sullivan looks over to first. And now we'll set, deliver. Swung on a driven into left center. And Levesque will come under to make the play. And the throw will keep the runners where they are. So that will be a fly out to put 2 outs on the board here in the top of the 7th for Sullivan. And now that'll bring on number 38, Grady Mead, the shortstop. Singled in his first at-bat, walked in his second and his third at-bat, and walked in his fourth at-bat as well. 3 walks for Grady Mead today and a single. So he's reached base all 4 times. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Runners on the corner still for Jamestown. Sullivan now will set, deal, swung on a driven right field side, but foul. And the count will go 0-1. So 0-1 the count to Grady Mead. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. This game is already about 20 minutes over what it was supposed to be. Game 1 was supposed to start at 5. Game 2 was supposed to start at 7. It is now about 7:20. Sullivan will set, deal, swing and a miss by Grady Mead, and the count will go 0-2. So 0-2 to Grady Mead. Sullivan looking for his second strikeout of the day in order to send us to the bottom of the 7th inning. That one will be in there. Called strike 3. He struck him out. Grady Mead goes down looking. And that will finally end mercifully the top of the 7th inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Pioneers down 10-2. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. Casey Gilman still out there for the Tarpskunks. And leading off this inning for the Pioneers, it'll be number 44, Chris Bear, the shortstop. Pioneers down 8 runs. And since this is a doubleheader game, This is the last half inning, so Pioneers down to the last 3 outs in game 1 of this doubleheader. And of course, they'll be looking to split the series by taking game 2. Gilman will fire one in there for a called strike. 1 to Bears, so the count will go 0-1. Gilman's trying to go all 7 innings here in this game 1. Gilman 0-1 will set, deliver. That is in there. Called strike 2. What a pitch. That was a nasty curveball. So 0-2 the count to Bear. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Gilman looking for what would be his 5th strikeout of the night. That one will be in there. That might be a base hit. It will be a base hit. That'll be a base hit single for Chris Bear, and a leadoff single at that. As now that'll bring up number 14, Jake Keller. The extra hitter grounded out in his first at-bat, struck out in his second at-bat. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Pioneers, however, would have to have one heck of a rally in order to get back in this game. They have 3 outs to get 8 runs. So a nice start there for Bear, but now everybody's got to contribute. There's no room for error. That one will be in there, called strike 1. So 0-1 the count to Keller, no outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And by the way, there is some controversy between the 9 and 10 run distinction. It is 10 runs. I have it confirmed with the stats guy, Nate. He confirmed it as it was Kent who scored on the error by Bear. So that is why it is 10-2. So the count will go 1-1 to Keller here now. No outs in the bottom of the 7th. Bear off first. Gilman now 1-1. Will set, deliver, swung on it, popped into right. First baseman going for it in foul territory. He will not make the play. So Keller will stay alive. And so the count will go 1-2 here now. 1-2 the count to Keller. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Bear off first. 1-2 the count to Keller. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Gilman now will set, deliver. That is swung on a chop foul by Keller, right field side. So the count will stay at 1-2. Keller able to keep himself alive. Keller looking for a base hit here to try and advance Bear. Gilman 1-2. We'll look over to Bear. And now we'll set, deliver, swung on it, pop back almost into my window. And that one was about 3 feet over my head. That was almost the closest one I've had all season to it landing in here with me. Foul ball by Keller almost joined me there. It's about 3 foot over. And so the count will stay 3-2. Or excuse me, 1-2. 1-2. My mistake. Gilman will look over to first and Bear. Bear barely even off of first, not much of a lead. Now takes a bit of a bigger one. Gilman will set deal. That one is in there. Cold strike 3. Keller will go down looking, and that will put 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. And so now that'll bring on number 47, Ray Hernandez, the third baseman. Flew out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Bear off of first. Hernandez does have home run power. This would be the time to do it. It'd be a start to a rally. Gilman will set deal. That is outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Hernandez. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Gilman 1-0 will set, deliver. That is inside and down low for ball 2. So 2-0 the count to Hernandez. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Bear still over there at first. Gilman 2-0. Looks over to Bear. And now we'll set, deliver. That is upstairs and outside for ball 3. So 3-0 the count to Hernandez here. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Hernandez's walk, that'll bring up Gingrich, who is on deck. 3-0. Gilman now will set, deliver. That is outside ball 4, so it will be a walk for Hernandez. And now they'll put runners on first and second here for the Pioneers with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. And now that'll bring up number 4, Weston Gingrich, the center fielder who popped out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat. So Gingrich looking for a base hit here to try and maybe even score Bear if it's in the right spot. Bear on second, or Hernandez is at first. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Like I said before, this is a doubleheader game, so this is the last 2 outs for the Pioneers here in game 1. Gilman now will set, deliver. That is down low for ball 1. And now Bear's going to run over to third, and Hernandez is going to go to second, and the catcher completely lost it. The catcher had no idea where it was. It was just to his right. And so both runners will advance, and the count will go 1-0. So that was actually a big mistake, as not only Bear got to go, but also Hernandez. Count 1-0 to Gingrich. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Gilman now. 1-0, sets, fires, swung on a driven. That it might be a base hit. No, that is going to be 2 outs. They're going to tag up for the 3rd out, and that will end the ball game. As Hernandez got caught off a third, he thought that was going to be a base hit. And so the Pioneers drop game 1 of this doubleheader. 10-2 the final score. Jamestown takes it in dominating fashion. The Pioneers were going to look to regroup for game 2 in about 20 or 30 minutes. So I'm going to end my live stream here, and I will come back with a brand new one once we are closer to the start of game 2. So until game